Have you ever wondered what those quick, tasty, and budget-friendly instant noodles are actually doing inside your body? Most of us have eaten them, whether it's a midnight craving, a quick fix after school, or just comfort food when we don't feel like cooking. But here's something shocking. Studies show that eating instant noodles 2 to 3 times a week can increase your risk of heart disease, stroke, and even diabetes. Surprised? Let's dive deep into why this simple food, loved by millions, can quietly harm your health if you eat it too often. Instant noodles are everywhere. In fact, according to the World Instant Noodles Association, more than 120 billion servings are consumed worldwide every single year. That means over 300 million packs are eaten every day. They're cheap, convenient, and ready in just minutes. No wonder they've become a go-to snack for students, office workers, and families. But just because something is popular doesn't mean it's healthy. And research is beginning to reveal the dark truth about what happens when you make instant noodles a regular part of your diet. Let's take a closer look at what's actually inside that colorful packet. The noodles themselves are made mostly from refined wheat flour, a carbohydrate stripped of its natural fiber and nutrients. They pre-cooked in oil, usually palm oil or hydrogenated oil, which means they already carrying a load of unhealthy fats before you even boil them. Then comes the seasoning packet, which contains not just flavor but an enormous amount of salt, artificial flavors, and preservatives. When you put it all together, you get a food that may satisfy your hunger temporarily, but does very little to nourish your body. One of the biggest hidden dangers of instant noodles is the extremely high sodium content. A single serving can contain up to 1,700 milligrams of sodium, which is almost your entire daily recommended limit. Consuming this amount regularly raises your blood pressure and puts a dangerous strain on your arteries. Over time, this significantly increases your risk of heart disease and stroke. The American Heart Association has repeatedly warned that excess sodium is one of the leading contributors to cardiovascular deaths worldwide. And instant noodles are one of the sneakiest sources of it in modern diets. The unhealthy fats in instant noodles also play a major role in damaging your health. Since they're pre-fried before packaging, they contain trans fats and large amounts of palm oil, both of which are known to harm the heart. Trans fats are particularly dangerous because they raise your bad cholesterol while lowering your good cholesterol, setting the stage for clogged arteries. This process, called atherosclerosis, makes it much easier for heart attacks and strokes to occur. The sad truth is that a food that seems so harmless and small can have long-lasting effects on your cardiovascular system if eaten too frequently. Another health risk comes from the type of carbohydrates instant noodles are made of. Being refined and low in fiber, they are digested very quickly, which leads to rapid spikes in blood sugar. When your body is repeatedly exposed to these spikes, it starts to develop resistance to insulin, the hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar levels. This condition, known as insulin resistance, is a major step toward developing type 2 diabetes. In fact, research from the Harvard School of Public Health found that women who ate instant noodles more than twice a week had a much higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, a dangerous combination of diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure. And it's not just about what instant noodles contain, it's also about what they lack. They provide almost no protein, fiber, vitamins, or minerals. This means that while you may feel full after eating them, your body hasn't received the nutrients it needs to stay healthy. Over time, this can lead to a form of malnutrition where you're re-eating enough calories, but still starving on a nutritional level. The result is weaker immunity, poorer skin health, and greater vulnerability to chronic diseases. In other words, instant noodles may fill your stomach, but they don't fuel your body. The risk of stroke is another shocking consequence of frequent instant noodle consumption. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition revealed that eating instant noodles 2 to 3 times a week increases your risk of stroke. The dangerous combination of high sodium, harmful fats, and preservatives places continuous pressure on your blood vessels, making them more likely to rupture or become blocked. For many people, this danger goes unnoticed until it's too late. What makes this problem worse is that even people who try to live otherwise healthy lifestyles are not completely safe from the risks of eating instant noodles too often. A large study conducted in South Korea, where instant noodles are a staple, found that even individuals who exercised regularly and ate fruits and vegetables still experienced health risks if they consumed instant noodles multiple times a week. This means that no matter how balanced your diet may seem, frequent instant noodle consumption can still work against your health. So what can you do if you love instant noodles? The good news is that enjoying them occasionally is unlikely to cause major harm. The real problem comes when they become a habit, something you eat several times a week. If you can't give them up entirely, there are a few ways to make them slightly healthier. You can add vegetables like spinach, carrots, or mushrooms to increase fiber and vitamins. Replacing the seasoning packet with a homemade mix of herbs, a little salt, and perhaps some lean protein like chicken or boiled egg can also make a difference. Most importantly, limiting how often you eat them is key. In the end, Instant noodles are a perfect example of how modern convenience can come at a cost. They may save time, but they slowly take away from your long-term health. The truth is, what seems like just a simple snack or meal can quietly damage your heart, raise your blood pressure, and increase your risk of diabetes and stroke. It is a sobering reminder that the food we eat regularly shapes our future health more than we realize. So, the next time you reach for that shiny packet of instant noodles, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I feeding my hunger, or am I feeding a future filled with health problems? The choice is yours.